In any society, investigative journalism sheds a light on things that others would like to keep in the darkness, whether it's an economic issue or a political issue or a social issue of some kind. Investigative journalism, when it's done properly, helps people to understand complicated things. Now, the internet is not a good venue for serious journalism because the internet is so sparkly that it is difficult for people to pay attention to anything more than 2 minutes. Latvia's commercial television stations are very, very commercial indeed. They show movies and reality shows and they all have news programs, but they don't particularly devote what is necessary to investigative journalism. Radio stations can't really be expected to do terribly in-depth investigative reporting because often what is being investigated needs to be seen and not just heard. I think that there are reporters who would be interested in doing it if they have the wherewithal. And again, it's a question of resources. But it's also true that journalism education in Latvia leaves a lot to be desired. Editors often say that it is easier for them to take someone from the sidelines and train them than to wait for somebody to come through the college system. And that is horrible. That is awful, and it is very, very, very regrettable. The people of Latvia are so accustomed to hearing about crimes and corruption and dirty deeds and whatnot. I think they are somewhat immune to it. So the subject matter of classical investigative journalism would not lead to a product that they would accept happily and with great interest. There have been journalists who have been quite frank about the fact that they take money from their sources to report things about them. And of course, from a journalistic perspective, that is awful and horrible. To some extent, ethics are a luxury for the rich that the poor cannot always afford to observe, as is true in other areas of life as well.